What's up, my comic comrades, and happy almost New Year. With this being the last variant episode of the year, we wanted to take a second and thank all of you for making 2018 another amazing year for Variant. This past year definitely had its share of challenges and difficult moments, but you guys were right there with us through everything. Always ready to talk all things comics. We've said it many times before, and we're gonna keep saying it. It's really you guys, the Variant Nation, that makes what we do possible, and we couldn't be more grateful to have you guys with us for the ride. I'll also say we have some great stuff planned for 2019, and we can't wait to share it with you. But for now, let's close out 2018 with a bang, shall we? We all know that the Aquaman movie hit theaters just over a week ago, and earlier this month we posted episodes on Black Manta, Ocean Master, and Aquaman himself. But today, it's time the Queen of Atlantis gets her due, with a breakdown of her comic book origin. Let me start by saying that like most comic book characters, her origin has been told several different ways over the years, but I decided to go with her more recent New 52 origin from Secret Origins issue 5. And that's largely because the Aquaman movie pulled a lot of inspiration from Jeff Johns' New 52 Aquaman run. In any case, Mera first appeared in Aquaman issue 11 in September of 1963, and was created by Jack Miller and Nick Cardy. She is the former princess of a kingdom called Zebul, a forgotten dimensional penal colony formed by an ancient group of Atlantean separatists. At some point, their people were banished behind a sealed portal in the Bermuda Triangle. So Mera's father, King Arris, started training her in combat with the intention that she would escape Zebul via a slipstream, kill the King of Atlantis, and free her people. They wanted to escape because, well, they were banished, and no one likes that. But also because where they were banished, which again is the Bermuda Triangle, forced them to live like scavengers. As Mera puts it, somehow only shipwrecks can enter the Zebul barriers that cuts us off from the world. The surface world must think this triangle is cursed when no trace of their lost ships are ever found. Well, Mera, you're 100% correct. That's exactly what the surface world thinks. Clever dialogue from the writer. Anyway, this is also where we find out that Mera and Zebul use their wreckage to their advantage, as it's all they have. For instance, Mera slowed down a ship with her water-shaping powers and said, maybe this could be a new wing for a school, where children can ask why Atlantis sent us away and closed us off from the world, to live off the dead. In any case, you could see why her and her people want to get the hell out of Dodge. So her father takes her to the barrier to make her escape. But before she leaves on her mission, he gives her a shell of sounds that contains a message from her mother. He tells Mera that her mother asked for her to listen to it once she made it out. So they both swim as fast as they can, and the king says to Mera, push your slipstream to the smallest point before you. And like a rocket through water, she escapes and makes it to the surface, where she sees the sun for the first time. She then spends the next few days traveling north on top of the waves looking for Atlantis, but eventually gets lost and asks for directions. You heard me, she asks for directions. So she uses her water-shaping abilities to raise herself out of the water and asks some sailors, hey, do you know where Atlantis is? At first they're startled, as one should be, when seeing an attractive woman wearing a crown rise out of the water, being held by said water in the middle of the ocean. Seems like the appropriate response to me. Anyway, long story short, they of course don't know where Atlantis is, but they tell her, we know about Aquaman, who saved them from a storm a few weeks ago. So she starts hunting for Aquaman, but is confused as he apparently spends as much time out of the water as in the water. She would eventually find him, but was shocked to see he was saving a family of killer whales. She approaches Aquaman and says to him, you're commanding them and they obey you. But Aquaman is like, you're making water hold you up. That seems more impressive. I've never seen an Atlantean do that. To which she says, I'm from another realm. So he says, can you tell me about it? At which point she helps him save the whales. After this, he asks her out for lunch on the surface world. Now keep in mind, while all this is going on, she's absolutely smitten with Aquaman, as she finds him physically attractive, as well as loving the fact that he's a good king moving in the greater world, helping animals and people. Mera even thinks to herself, Father, I'm mentally prepared for everything, except this scenario. Needless to say, she no longer wants to kill him, as he's not the monster she thought he would be. In fact, he's quite the opposite. But while eating lunch, she remembers the message from her mother she was supposed to listen to. So she runs off and goes to listen to it alone. And the message says, Mera, my daughter, I do not fear death, but I do hate that I won't see all you will accomplish. You're from a warrior race, but you could be so much more. You can and you will, so you could be free. I needed a mission the people would support to send you out. Once you've completed that, you owe Zebul nothing more. The future is yours. See the whole world. Marry who you want or not at all. Your independence is your true mission, my beloved Mera. At this point, Aquaman comes up and says, sorry, you were taking a call. I didn't mean to pry, but you have a mission to complete somewhere? To which she says, yes, but it may take a long time. And I think you all know where it goes from there. She goes on to become the Queen of Atlantis. Her origin is essentially a love story, which I don't mind. Not everything in comics has to be action all the time. With that said, let's talk about her powers briefly. Mera has superhuman strength and can lift at least 70 tons, which is insane. She could also swim way faster than normal Atlanteans, as her speed is boosted by her ability to manipulate water. In fact, she's on Aquaman's level when it comes to swimming. making her one of the fastest swimmers in the DC universe. To put it in perspective on how fast she is, her cruising speed is 300 miles per hour. And like Aquaman, she can jump incredible distances out of water or even on land. For example, she can jump so high, she can board a plane mid-flight just by jumping up to it. Mera is also extremely durable, so harming her isn't very easy, like at all. All of her senses are also enhanced, so she has incredible sight, hearing, and smell. Fun fact, she's immortal, so she doesn't age or degrade. Mera is also a highly skilled assassin. As I mentioned earlier, she was trained at a very young age by her father, the King of Zebel. And lastly, her most unique power is her ability to manipulate water, aka hydrokinesis. Basically what this means is she can manipulate water in any shape or form to make shields or melee weapons. She can also pull water out of the moisture in the air or even out of someone's body. It's her best power and makes her extremely deadly. But now I'm sure you all want some Mera reading recommendations. Read Mera, Queen of Atlantis, Aquaman Volume 1, The Drowning, Aquaman Volume 2, The Others, and Aquaman Volume 8, Out of the Dark. That should be enough to get you all started. And with that, Variant is signing off for this episode and 2018. But before we go, let me just say on behalf of myself, my producer Tim, and the entire Variant team, we wish you all a safe and happy new year and only the very best in 2019. But I'll see you again next year when I talk about all things comics.